Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be masculine and feminine energy confusion. Well, I've got a good email that brings up some things that we're going to talk about today about the differences between masculine energy and feminine energy and the importance. And this particular email happens to be from a lesbian, as a matter of fact. And even if you're heterosexual, you can definitely learn from this, because without the proper masculine and feminine balance in any relationship, the sexual polarity is going to be off. And just a side note, this is the new book, because not everybody watches every single video. So I know the ones that do watch every video, I appreciate it. But for the people that are just seeing this, the new book is out. Handsome dude in the back cover, of course. Mastering Yourself, How to Align Your Life with Your True Calling. And people go, why are you looking up, Corey? I have a little monitor sitting on top of my camera in case you haven't figured it out. So it's available right now as of the date of this particular video in paperback. It's available in the iBookstore, and it's available in Kindle as well. And the day that this video is going to publish, because I'm shooting this at several days ahead of time, is today is supposedly the last day in the 10 to 14 day window that Audible says it takes to publish the audiobook. Because I know a lot of you I'm getting lots of emails, I'm seeing lots of comments on social media going, when's the audiobook going to be out? When's it going to be on iTunes? So when you're watching this video, it should be out by then. If it's not, then, well, I mean, the video, I uploaded it on it was the 12th of February it was uploaded. So, and as of the time I'm shooting this video, it's been over 2 weeks still. It's not out yet. So, but like I said, in future video after this, as soon as it's out, I'll talk about it. But if it's out by the time this video comes out, I'll have a link to it underneath it. And for those of you that are asking, because I keep seeing this comment also, is yes, if you do a free trial with audible.com, you will be able to get my second book, Mastering Yourself, totally for free as well if you do an Audible free trial. So with that said, let's go through the quote that I wrote, and then we're going to go through her email, because there's some really good things in here that, but it doesn't matter whether you're man, woman, gay, straight, bisexual, this is really good to understand these things. I got an email, a success story today from a guy who's been following my work for several years, and he was telling me how he was able to help get his parents back together, because he sat his dad down and worked, because he had learned this stuff and he had a great relationship with his girlfriend, and his parents had split up and they were separated, and he was able to help them get back together by working with both of his parents. They all read the book together, and he was able to coach his father to turn things around, and now his parents are back together, saved their marriage, and they're very happy. So I love getting great success stories like that. Just as a side note. So the quote says, you must know who you are and what your true nature, values, and goals are before you will be great in your friendships, career, and romantic relationships. Otherwise, if you are unsure of yourself, you will invite others to take you for granted, bully you, not respect you, and not value your time and what you have to offer. Until you learn to value, love, and respect yourself, you won't value your time or do anything useful or valuable with it. Because if you don't think you have much to offer, then you're like, what's the point? What's the point of going to the gym? What's the point of trying to get a better job? I suck. I don't deserve it. I'm not worthy. This is my lot in life. That's how most people think that you're going to encounter in this world. So let's go through her email. She says, hi, Coach Corey. I'm a 19-year-old lesbian and have dated many different types of girls over the past couple of years. Thanks to your book and YouTube videos, I have gradually improved my dating life and have more steadily applied the laws of attraction with improved results. That's awesome. Good for you. However, in my current relationship of 5 months with my girlfriend, the question of masculine and feminine energy is stumping me. Well, this is really important, because I've done a lot of phone sessions with lesbians over the year, and I'd say probably about 95% of the lesbians that call me that are having trouble, they struggle with this as well. Because, I mean, physically, biologically, they're both women, but in order to maintain the sexual polarity, there's always going to be one that's more feminine and another one who's more masculine. When they start to act the same, the sexual polarity dissipates and their partner doesn't want to have sex with them anymore. And so obviously you can understand, being a a lesbian, a biological woman, but being attracted to other women, how that can be difficult understanding what's masculine and what's feminine. So actually, before I go further, let's talk about that. As I've said many times, I talk about my book, masculine energy is purpose, drive, mission, succeeding, accomplishing, breaking through barriers, overcoming challenges, accomplishing goals. It's being the leader in the relationship. It's making things happen. It's opening your partner up, your woman up. And if feminine energy is all about opening up to receive love, creative energy, it's about bonding, connecting, family, dating labels, relationship labels, being very feminine, wearing the dresses, allowing the other person to be led. Now, in this particular case, if you've got two women, it's really important that are dating is that they each understand because nobody's going to know you like you, and you're going to know what you feel more natural with. If you like to be the leader or you prefer to be led. And so in this particular case, this particular woman, if she feels more feminine and her partner tends to be a little bit more masculine, which you'll see in a minute, her partner tends to do more things that lead me to believe that she's kind of the more masculine one in the relationship. What's really important is the one that's more masculine consistently acts more masculine. Because if she starts acting unsure of herself, the masculine one, and not planning dates, not being direct and decisive like a guy would in a heterosexual relationship, then the one who wrote this email, who probably is a little more feminine, is going to start to feel unsafe and uncomfortable with letting her partner lead. And that's going to force her to move into her masculine. And then now you're going to have two people trying to lead the relationship, and that starts to dissipate and erode the sexual polarity. That's why it's really important that the two of you are going to need to be helpful. Both of you read the book and understand and talk about who feels more masculine, who feels more feminine, and depending on where you end up and what you both feel, it's important that you each display the behaviors that feel more natural to you. Because if you start, it's just like when an alpha male, a masculine guy, starts dating a very beautiful, attractive woman, but if she's too masculine, is trying to run things, trying to control things too much, the masculine guy is going to start to feel like he's dating another dude, even though she's a beautiful woman. I wrote about this experience in my book that I had with a woman who was always used to being the leader in her relationships, and she tended to kind of date guys that tended to be more weak, and she was used to being the leader. It turned me off because it took a while to get her to the point where she would act like a little girl the way I liked and allow me to lead and plan things. So it's really, really super important, because otherwise you'll end up turning off your partner and they won't want to have sex with you. It's the same thing with a guy in a relationship. If a guy doesn't feel comfortable leading and is always like, I don't know, what do you want to do tonight, honey? I don't know, what do you want to do, she says. He's like, I don't know, what do you want to do? That forces her to move into her masculine, which is not her natural essence. And then where he had always been the leader up until that point in the relationship, and now he's not being the leader, she's not going to feel safe and comfortable. That forces her to move into her masculine. And when a woman doesn't feel safe and comfortable and heard and understood, the legs, they close right up. But if she feels heard and understood, the legs open right up. Really, really super important. She says, however, my current relationship of 5 months with my girlfriend, the question of masculine and feminine energy is stumping me. The first girl I dated was more masculine than me, and we had a pretty good relationship. Now look at this. Consider this is two women dating, two lesbian women that are attracted to women. We had a pretty good relationship until I became too needy and turned her off. Definitely my mistake on that one. Because remember, what is neediness? That's a deep-seated feeling of inferiority. I'm not good enough. This person, as soon as they find out what I'm really like, is going to haul ass. So let me try to hold on and force things. And that person tends to always be looking to figure out where they stand with the other person. And when you're happy, you value yourself, you love your life, you know you bring something awesome to the table. And you want to spend your time with people like, hell yeah, I'll go out with you. Hell yeah, I want to spend time with you. Hell yeah, I'd love to see you. Not somebody's like, meh. I don't want that. Somebody that values themselves is not going to stick around for that. Scarcity creates value. And if somebody's taking you for granted, what's the quickest way to get somebody else's attention when they're ignoring you or not valuing you? You remove yours. You give them the gift of missing you. And if they don't reach out, then, well, you pretty much know where you stand after that. The idea is both people mutually choose each other. She says, the next 2 girls I dated were definitely more feminine than me, and it wasn't until I started putting your tips into practice that their attraction grew for me. So she was more masculine in those relationships and more of the leadership type role. And therefore, they would feel very comfortable being feminine and submissive and letting her take the lead. But if she was unsure of herself and acting more feminine, it destroys the sexual polarity, because then they both start to act pretty much identical. She says, like many high school relationships, we broke up eventually. In my current relationship, however, I am really torn between which one of us harbors more masculine energy and which one of us harbors more feminine energy, so that I can start acting in the natural essence that she's not in order to maintain the polar attraction level. So the problem with that statement, I want to read that again because it's really important. I'm really torn between which one of us harbors more masculine energy and which one of us harbors more feminine energy, so that I can start acting in the natural essence that she's not in order to maintain the polar attraction level. So in other words, you're going to show up based upon how the other person is showing up. That's the wrong way to go. In other words, you're seeking validation in your girlfriend instead of just showing up and being who you really are. One of my favorite quotes is by Sri Amma Bhagwan, and they say, you must be who you are. What you should be is not important. And so you're kind of scratching your head like, who am I? How should I show up? You're going to do what feels natural to you. If you feel more feminine, then you need to be more feminine. And if you're unsure of whether or not you should be more feminine, if your partner tends to be more masculine, then she's going to have to move more into her masculine energy and be the leader. And you'll see in a second here that her girlfriend tends to be the more masculine one. But if both of you are kind of unsure, then what's going to happen, it's going to negate the sexual polarity. So it's not that I'm going to show up based upon how the other person is show up. You got to show up and be who you are all the time, 24/7. It's, like the, what was it, Socrates, know thyself, in other words. Who are you? What are you about? What's your natural essence? What do you feel most comfortable in? That's the important question you need to answer for yourself. And once you determine what that is, what you feel more comfortable, either being the leader or being led, then be congruent with that, because you're all over the ice right now. And it might also be because your partner might be more masculine, but she's not sure of herself either. And if she's not sure, then you're not going to feel safe and comfortable being feminine. And therefore, that's going to force you to move into your masculine, and then she's going to be in her masculine, and it's like two people trying to lead, and there's not going to be sexual polarity. It'll die out. I was the one that initiated the first kiss and date, since she has never been in a relationship before and is shy. Her attraction was very high and wanted to see me every weekend. We both can't meet up on weekdays because we live a little bit further apart. However, she acts more masculine in the sense that she insists on coming up with fun date ideas, paying for me, being proactive of me, and likes when I dress up really nice for her. She doesn't like dressing up. So that statement sounds like your partner is the more masculine one, and you dress up really nice for her, so that tells me you like being a little more feminine. But again, it's like I can't answer that question for you. You have to, it's all what you feel inside internally. That's between you and the Creator. So you got to figure that out for yourself. Nobody can tell you who you are. You got to figure that out for yourself. I know I was a more masculine one in my last two relationships. However, I feel feminine energy, feelings, emotions, more feminine energy, as though I am the more feminine one in this relationship. And when I brought it up, she agreed with me. Well, there's the rub. You kind of already know, but you don't feel comfortable being feminine all the time and letting her be the leader. So that tells me that your partner needs to focus more on being the masculine one, the one to call, the one to arrange dates. In other words, she's supposed to be the dude in the relationship. And anytime she's not being the dude in the relationship, you're going to feel unsure and not safe, and you're going to try to start leading again. So it's important that both of you understand that, and then you can kind of help each other self-regulate. I still can't tell, though. In your opinion, what are the signs, and how can you tell which one in our relationship has more masculine energy? Notice she's indecisive here and unsure of herself. What is that? That's feminine energy. Masculine energy is fucking certain, knows exactly what it is. Feminine energy is, that's why women can say, yeah, I'm totally in. And then what is a woman's prerogative? Changing her mind. So I would say from what you've shared here, and your partner have already had this discussion, so you got to be that. You got to be that feminine person. You feel more feminine. Obviously, you're dressing up in a dress, even though in other relationships, you've been the more masculine one. In this one, you're with somebody who's more masculine. Obviously, you like that. But it's really important that your partner acts, in other words, reads my first book, How to Be a 3% Man, and acts like a dude is supposed to act, even though physically and biologically, she's a woman. And as I talk about in my new book, I go, because people always ask me, what do you really believe spiritually? And I go into that. I believe the soul is not gender specific. I believe in one life we might be a man, in the next life we might be a woman. In one life you might be a black guy, in the next life you might be a white woman or a Chinese woman or an Oriental woman. It's all about the journey of the soul. And I go really into extensive detail about that in my book. And that'll definitely help you as well to understand that and give you a sense of peace. And which one has more feminine energy? Like I said, I mean, it's already, obviously right here, you've told me that you're the more feminine one. Your partner's agreed. Your partner feels more masculine. You agree with that. So be more feminine. And the more you're feminine and the more you encourage your partner to lead and be the more masculine one. And also, if your partner tends to slip out of that and start acting indecisive and unsure of herself, then you got to correct her and say, hey, you're moving into your feminine energy and you're supposed to be the masculine. You're supposed to be direct, decisive, get right to the point, and make shit happen. And you guys will be fine. Because right now, you're not sure. Somebody's got to be the leader. And the longer it continues like this, the more it's going to create problems in your relationship going forward. And how do I know? Because I've coached so many lesbian couples over the years. I've coached women that are bisexual as well, that date men and women. And depending on the women that are bisexual tend to, when they're with a guy, they like to be feminine. But most of the women that I've done that are bisexual, when they're in a relationship with another woman, they like to be the more masculine one. Not all of them, but that's just statistically what I've seen in my life coaching practice. And whenever you get two people acting kind of similar type of energy, and you'll see that as couples get older. I mean, you can go anywhere there's a lot of people, and what you typically see is that people that have been together for a long time, they tend to get a little overweight. The woman cuts her hair off. She stops wearing makeup. The husband and the wife, they wear kind of the same clothes, baggy clothes. The woman tends to lead, and it's like almost like two unhealthy men in the relationship, and there's like no sex happening. I got a guy, it's like, that I know. He's an acquaintance. He's been with his wife for 25, close to 30 years now. They've got kids that are grown. He hadn't had sex with his wife in like 15 fucking years, and they're still together. He's getting a little on the side, but it's like, why? Why torture yourself? His wife just totally acts like a guy. It's like, well, how does that add value to your life, being in a relationship where you're not having sex and you're screwing around on the side? It's like, he's a fucking bitch, basically. A very wealthy guy. He made his money the old-fashioned way. He inherited it, but a lot of people like that in this world. But it's interesting to watch that. Because when the sexual polarity is there, sex life is great, really healthy. Statistically, long-term relationships, people have been together many years and are very happy, typically are still having sex 2 to 3 times a week, at least 2 times a week. Those are just the numbers. It is what it is. In order for you to both feel attraction for one another, you both have to consistently be in whatever essence is natural to you. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to go to my website, click the products tab, and book whatever coaching option works for you. And I will talk to you soon.